What a night. I want to do this live after reading through everything. Mark Carney, first ministers have joined together, apparently, the Crown against Donald J. Trump and America, that for the first time in more than 60 years now, we're apparently going to be able to forget all treaties, all land entitlements, drive straight across Canada from one end to the other, build anything we want, throw anyone off their property, because, again, Canadians don't have property rights. Indians don't have any rights. It's not Indian land. It's not Canadian land. You're all going to be removed if you get in the way of now the joining of the first ministers and now Prime Minister Carney, who says he's going to plow through Canada, cancelling all United Kingdom USA treaties unilaterally, and all premiers have agreed. I guarantee you, Doug Ford signed on with Mark Carney, Francois Legault signed on with Mark Carney. In fact, all the first ministers, and more than 8 to 10, have signed on with Mark Carney. We are supposed to see an election called in the next 36 hours to battle USA, to end everything with USA unilaterally, and move on to China, as was Harper's mission, clearly stated that he would overtake USA, that we would defeat USA. Now Carney says he's going to do that too. Exactly what Harper wrote and stated he would do, that he never did. None of them ever do. Canadians, for 60 years, you've been told over and over again by politician after politician. I know, I'm from Alberta, and I've always championed getting out to the open market, international market. It's never happened under any government at any time ever in Canadian history. Do you know why that is? Because we're designed to block each other at every turn. The first problem comes when Alberta tries to go to BC to say, sure, we'll give you pass, but we want 80% of the revenue. We want royalties. We want so much more money than you even make off of that development. Not reasonable. As you go east from a place like Alberta, it gets explosively worse. Province after province after province. Then there's all the First Peoples in between. So apparently Carney and the First Ministers in majority are now saying, don't worry about all of our history, all of our constitutional blockades, greedy, thieving, cheating from the people, systems in place that have entirely ruined this country for the last 60 years that I know of in my research. I know it's much older than that. I know in just Alberta history it goes way, way back, all the way to when Alberta became a province, from Dust Bowl, Alberta, all the way. That's just Alberta. Never mind the rest of the provinces and all of their various resources. And there are many, many resources in Canada. Canadians focus on oil and gas. I think that is the end-all and be-all, and currently, sure, it's 1/3 of the generating primary sector GDP, not something small. But there are other sectors, other massive resources should be harvested at reasonable rates with reasonable returns. We never see any of that. If it's harvested, it's flown out or shipped out to tankers out to foreign lands, far, far away. We don't pay any reasonable rates. Doesn't come back to Canadians. In fact, we don't even get the jobs. Most of the jobs are foreign. So now Carney's telling you, with the First Ministers in plenty, doesn't matter if they're conservative, liberal, I've read it all. I watched Doug Ford say, piss off, Pierre Poilievre. I'm with Mark Carney now. I don't need you. I don't want to get involved. I like what Carney presents. Because it's a good lie. He's got a 4-year mandate. Like they always all lie. Canadians will believe it. I just got off the phone with a number of people. I've had phone calls all night. Some trying to get an account and we're scrambling. I don't know. We'll see how the weekend ends. I'm going to fight all weekend, processing paperwork, getting the website developer on board, and continue as hard as I possibly can to get an accountant. But Canadians are about to fall into a war with America that we can't recover from. That is going to happen. This announcement, this baloney that has been done over and over, lie after lie. No more carbon pricing, no more carbon tax, no more capital gains. We're real Canada now. Don't worry about pesky treaties. Don't worry about those stupid asshole Americans. I'm Mark CARNEY, the new liar, the latest liar who loves to tell Canadians everything they want to hear, like every single politician. I want to rewind the clock here for everybody to give you my first bamboozlement by the Canadian establishment. Many years ago, I went to school at NAIT, Edmonton, Alberta. I took business management, majored in economics. It was everything for me. At that time, we had a premier, Ralph Klein. At the height of everything, had just paid off Alberta's provincial debts, and absolutely no deficits. Had been actually a number of years since 1993, had moved from terrible recessionary to absolute surpluses, paid off in full. We had everything sailing along. Primary sector to the likes of which nothing's seen in North America. And along comes a man named Stephen Harper from Alliance Party. Comes and meets us. We meet not only Ralph Klein, Premier Ralph Klein, on Saskatchewan Drive, very beautiful neighborhood of Edmonton, Alberta, very posh on that Alberta University side, right on the River Valley. Corner bar at the time, the train boxcar that's there, I think it's still there. We go meet Premier Ralph Klein, and then Senator George W. Bush Jr. Came and gave a talk, as well as this Stephen Harper, who came with promises many times even bigger than right now Mark CARNEY. I'm going to do all this for Western Canada. I'm going to deliver these systems. We're going to get out on the open sea. We're going to do all these things. Canada's going to be this or it's going to fall. And we're going to make sure, and if you elect me, I'm going to do all these magical, wonderful things. You're going to have it all way better than you have it now, even though Ralph Klein didn't talk like that. He actually did it. He did it through physical conservatism, never had to baloney anybody. He just did. He saw those things done. Along comes Harper, and I was swept up in it. So many of us young guys, fresh graduates of the program, swept up into it. Harper's the man. He had the firewall letter. He was going to get all this done in Canada. We got behind him. We campaigned. He took over CPC, just Conservative Party of Canada, just a few short years later. Has all that, goes forward, gets Prime Minister. We all door knock campaign, had family, friends donate. Oh yeah, Stephen Harper going to do it all. And no sooner did he get elected than every single policy and promise quickly thrown to the garbage, and status quo continued. Didn't deliver on anything he said, not for all of that Western expansion, any of it. None of it happened. It was in fact the opposite. In fact, we would borrow more money than we ever had before. Alberta would be hit with the worst equalization formula could ever be drafted and imagined by the most cruelest of minds in a social fascist system of absolutely rape, pillage, and plunder by socialist elites of a divine first-class set of superior human beings. You couldn't make this up. The worst nightmare. Alberta, debts and deficits like never seen before. Ralph gone, thrown out of the party because now we had Stephen Harper. And everybody voted to throw Ralph out. He deteriorated after that. He died a few short years after that. Stephen Harper went on to brutalize us. We ended up borrowing more money than Canadians had ever done in all the years of Canada. Worst economic disasters ever seen in Canadian history. Bank bailouts, automotive bailouts, companies that got all the money and then ran off. That was Stephen Harper. Nothing he campaigned on, nothing he promised. Absolutely 180 degrees the opposite. We were raped, pillaged, plundered. Now, we just did the same thing with Justin Trudeau. And this goes on in Canadian history. It only multiplies with every incoming Prime Minister. Meaning, whatever debts and deficits the previous Prime Minister took, you can expect a doubling of that with the next incoming Prime Minister. And Justin Trudeau says, you know what? Like my father, not only am I going to double it, I'm going to damn near triple it. And he has. He has damage beyond all human measure. All the promises he rolled out, lies. They all lie. Liberal liars. He doubled down everything terrible of Stephen Harper. Trudeau did magnafold. MAGA, like MAGA US, but MAGA liberal. And that's what he did. Now we have Mark Carney with all the same lies that Canadians have been being told over and over. Every 4 years or whenever these autocrats decide to have election, because hell, they don't even have to follow election cycles. We don't even have a democratic system in Canada. It's a crown autocracy. Americans narrate it at the highest academic institutions. In a 4-year study they just finished earlier this year, it was released after 4 years. Highest universities, best minds of America. And they say Canada is an electoral autocracy. We're not a democracy. We don't even belong in this concept of Western democracies. We don't have scheduled elections. All your politicians prove that. Stephen Harper didn't have scheduled elections. Did we do the 4-year cycle? Oh, no, that's right. Stephen Harper had an early election call, too. Oh, yeah, Justin Trudeau did, too. Oh, yeah. Oh, now we're doing it again with Mark Carney. Oh, yeah. Resign, new one, let's have a new election. We don't need scheduled elections. We just have to tell Canadians what they always want to hear. Tell them everything wonderful that they want to hear, and then we're going to rape them. We're going to rip their pants down, and we're going to rape them like nobody's ever raped them before. And Canadians go, yes, can I have another? Well, no, this politician isn't going to do anything like that last politician. They're different. Really? Because they're selling you the same lies every single politician's rolled out before them. And in fact, delivered the opposite. Didn't do any of the things they said. And in fact, doubled down on raping everything you could ever be and all of that which your children will never have. It's gone. It's gone. That's what they do. They fill their pockets, they fill all their friends' pockets here in Canada and leave you holding a tremendous bill that you'll never pay off and your kids will never get started because they can't pay off that bill. And this time around, this massive lie, this with no investment, no way to get money, all printed money lies, because companies are not flooding into Canada right now. They are moving out to USA faster than they ever have before. And Donald J. Trump knows this. Now, I've given everybody the 51st state. Donald J. Trump said there's going to be a major announcement. And we see Mark Carney in the Premier's announcement. But he's got another announcement from UK. And what would that likely be, folks? That's going to be the UK signing off with Canada for once and for all, saying they're on their own. You cancel whatever treaties you see fit. We don't acknowledge any of those treaties anymore. That's what the announcement is likely to be. It's not going to be UK saying you can have Canada, let us go. People saying that. It's going to be UK saying Canada is on their own. You have at her. You decide. Nothing to do with us. We're signed off. And it's going to be you Canadians who are going to go toe-to-toe with an economy more than 10 times your size. a force on this earth many times your comprehension. And if you think for 1 minute Mark Carney's wonderful painting that's been painted over and over and over, just in my lifetime I've watched every prime minister paint this portrait of bullshit. They got me when I was 20 years old. They got me. Harper got me. And I never forgave the Conservatives for that. But you know what? I've watched it recycle, reuse. I know all the history I studied before it, all the way back. And it's over and over. And for some reason, Canadians go, I just want to be told the lies. Tell me the lies. Texas, the Republic of Texas, 1840. They went through this for the final time, where they were at that point. They were there, and they made the decision to do one more try at the lie. At the lie. Maybe I don't give our politicians enough credit. Maybe they've been researching all this stuff all along, and they already know. I was given this education right here in Washington, D.C. just days ago. I'm still recovering. I'm pretty tired. But maybe our Canadian politicians know, maybe that's what Carney's going to do to bankrupt all of you into pure-on slavery. If people think that USA is going to force himself on us, they don't. All precedent shows USA doesn't do that. If you haven't read Philippines, if you haven't read the history of the Spanish War, North Korea, South Korea, USA still on the hook from that from the 50s. Just a few decades of a narrative of the United States has clearly shown the United States that they're better off, as a majority of the time they do. Let people decide for themselves. Let them go tits up themselves. Let them figure it out and come crawling on back. Because that's what it's going to take. USA's not going to force Canadians to do anything, but they won't support you economically anymore. They won't support you militarily now. Now, what's likely to happen when you all vote Mark Carney in on his promises, these big promises that Harper did and was successful with, it's a formula that works. Canadians love to be lied to. We will vote majority for the liar, even though history and precedent shows us none of those things claimed by any prime minister and League of Premiers has ever worked out in Canada. It can't work out because we're designed for it not to work out. So many legal barriers in our own system that we're under imposed on us from the same politicians who lie to you, tell you mythical dreams, and never deliver. And they never will. It will never be delivered unless it's done by absolute force, which means throwing Canadians from coast to coast off of their lands, displacing Indians off their lands, which is genocide. It means socialist fascism. Maybe it'll happen. It's happened in Canadians' history. Maybe it'll happen. But I don't think the USA and the world, its narrative today, will see that happen. No, when we look at precedent, Mark Carney is going to probably win on his lie, the lie that Canadians love to believe every election cycle. You're told this whopper of a tale. You bite it, you take it, and you lose your shirt. And what really will happen is Carney will capitulate like Liberals always do, throwing all kinds of money Canadians don't have into buying F-35s, whole new military garb, all of this promises of $300 billion, basically the bank bill of 2009, to the USA that Canadians can't afford. UBI everywhere, unemployment everywhere, no industries. Government's going to build your industries, they say. And when you're in a situation like that, you are a communist nation, you're in a military dictatorship, you're full-on totalitarian system. There's lots of them, for example, in the third world, all around you in this world. Lots. When a government promises you that they're going to run all the industries, they're going to nationalize everything, everyone's together, and we're going to build this new Canada, completely government-run, provincially and federally, with no private sector at all. You can wave goodbye to any resemblance of any kind of normalcy or democracy or even the nation that you thought you knew, which never really was. But this is the point where we transform. And I guess America looks at it that you'll wake up in your third world status, and in the next year or two, when the government doesn't deliver on anything, and you wake up from the hangover of the always lie, except for this time, America's not there to pick you up. America's right there to go, hey, idiot, pow, right in the face. You want to mess with me? You want to mess with the bull? You're going to get the horns. You're on your own now. That's what we're facing here. I don't mean to make this video to upset people. It's to wake people up to reality, that we are on a pivotal moment. Texas went through this 1840. By 1841, they saw the light. Is that going to be Canadians' light? A year from now, if we don't see this election, we can't get it together, which it's a super long shot. I'm going to be honest. It's not looking good. I mean, I'm going to fight all weekend. I'm a fighter. But I know that the hope of this getting to fruition is so narrow, so nearly impossible, likely not to happen, to get all the timing down, to get everything back in. But the question really remains to all of you, if that doesn't happen and Carney comes in and he doesn't deliver, because he won't, nobody ever does, on any of their promises, it's a hangover, wake-up reality. What are you Canadians prepared to do at that point? What are you prepared to do when the bread lines, the jobs are gone, we're in mass unemployment, and you're lined up for government checks of printed money, and you are losing your home, your place, everything, and your government's telling you, don't worry, but yet there's no investment, no industry. We're going to print our money way out of this. We're going to support local on overseas markets. Nobody has. Nobody has. Competing against what was our best friend, the United States, who's now our biggest competitor at that point, where you're talking about we're going to build all this and we're going to compete against the United States as their enemy for the benefit of China, or this mythical idea of the EU that wants nothing to do with us. In any historical precedent, we've never, ever gotten any kind of trade agreement with the EU. We're vetoed every time. I don't know how stupid, and I have to say that, I'm sorry, I don't know how stupid an electorate has to be not to at least look that up. How many times has liberals and conservatives over how many decades applied to the EU and been fully rejected? Completely vetoed. And were we just vetoed in January? Oh, but it's different now. It's Mark Carney, right? Oh, it's not any different. Oh, yeah, Brexit. Oh, they're not even in the EU anymore. Oh, yeah, we're in the Commonwealth. Oh, yeah, we pay into a system that does no benefit to us. The only benefit we had was the United States of America. Oh, but we're going to go to war with them. We don't want to be a 51st state. We want to be our own country in a mythical world where everyone loves us because we're Canadian and they want all our stuff. They're lined up at the gates to come get it and pay top dollar because that's what the world shows us, right? No, they don't. Oh, shit. Only USA pays a fair rate. That's right. We don't have any other customers on mostly anything else. Don't have any other customers. Nothing viable to carry just 40 million people. Never mind our tremendous debts and deficits incurred by all your politicians. Nobody knows where the money is. Can't find it anywhere. You can't see it around you. It's definitely not here in Canada. Yeah. But we're going to be able to just throw that aside, right? We don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about all that money we owe the United States. It doesn't matter. They've got 53% of it. We don't have to worry about USA. They're going to do what we want, right? Mark Carney told me. This is a sad truth, folks. People need to wake up. You need to share this video. This is the best heart-to-heart. And this conversation that's happening now, this narrative of fiction rolled out by your Prime Minister and all premiers, that has never, ever once been the truth in all of our history. You can't find a history of this lie that's been sold and told millions, not a million, a lot of times over, a lot of decades over. It's never, ever once worked out. And it never will. Because, again, our legal design by those corrupt individuals running us, who have all the authority constitutionally, can't get it done because they compete against each other. It's that wickedly evil. Me, I, rape, pillage, plunder. And I don't see you changing the constitution or the system in any narrative of any government in this country. Premiers, prime minister together, I don't see it. It's all lies, unless they're going to go full on genocide. Now that I can believe. That I can believe in Canadian history, that the Crown would destroy Canadians and First Peoples at will to protect their own interests. Now that, I know, that's in precedent in Canada over many, many decades, even recent ones. That I could believe. That I would believe. But we'll see. I leave this all with you as a dire warning, because once you go down this road and you damn all relations with the USA, we're finished. We're finished with this crown, and we made our bed, and we're going to have to live with it. Us, the people of Canada, and all your children forevermore. That's my video. Share, share, share. From the heart, credible, real, verifiable, real Canadian history, as ugly as it is, as it really is. And if people don't remember, or you can't think past the last few years of your life because you're just down in it, I work, I don't care, I don't want to hear. You're done. You're done, and your children are going to be done. You already know this in your heart. You want to accept the lies, but the lies aren't going to feed you or your children or make their lives better. They haven't yet. It hasn't worked yet. It's time to do something different. 51st state is all we have. All we have left. Thank you. God bless. Bye now.